it's been a long while since I've done this, especially since I was trying to figure out a way how I could finally go about it. But I thought the more human and upfront approach is like probably the easiest way that I can go ahead and do so. So this is supposed to be fan made stands of the week, might be of the month. I'm not sure exactly when I do it. It's more on like, hey, if I first get this out correctly, then I'll try to follow up and then on. But I'm going to be putting this here on my second channel because I feel that it's better for me to put on my for sure content on my main one. But on my second one, I also want to put on for sure content, as in things like, oh, okay, so I have a certain series that goes up here, or certain serious points that go about things that aren't generally more fiction based. That usually my stuff is based on non-video game stuff nowadays. But I'm trying to make the second channel more of that, but that's specifically just going about that alone. But this is fan made stands of the week, technically, and I'm going to be going over at least 5 fan made stands that I actually had sent. I have a lot in my email. The email is allofthesestands@gmail.com. If you guys want to send in your stands there, just make sure that you guys follow the format for it. I'm gonna possibly put the format in the pinned comment or in the description, one of the two ways, and you guys will see exactly how to do so. But it's extremely easy. It just makes it easier for me to go about this, and I'm going to be approaching the first one. So the first one is going to be End of Silence by William Cross, and he says he's the one with the DBZ OC profile picture. That's the best way for me to understand where he is. Okay, so you have the stand name, End of Silence, namesake, End of Silence by Red, design. You can see the design right here. I'm going to be showing it off, and this is actually one of the designs that I really do enjoy, since I enjoy a lot of the designs I get, obviously, but this one I like since I can get it's a transparent background, and transparent backgrounds mean, hey, I can actually possibly put this as a thumbnail for you guys to see. Depends on just what I feel like. It's not really going about what favoritism or anything like that. It's just going about, hey, I can put this there, and it's easier. Type, it's a humanoid act stand. That's something I haven't seen people include, but this actually goes about the specific typing of the stand. Personality, since this one, it seems that this one is going to be one of the stands that actually has somewhat of a sentient type thing going on with itself. Going along with the lines of, off the bat, I can think of Gold Experience, Requiem, and Highway Star, because those are stands that actually had, they were able to talk for themselves for the most part. And I'm pretty sure there's more stands that obviously people can think of, like Cheap Trick too. I almost forgot about that one. There's a bunch of them, but this is actually nice that he's able to mention this. But personality is quiet, reclusive, and a very serious tone, and somewhat sad, I'm seeing. Username, Ezio Luna Muertos. I'm guessing it's somewhat Spanish or Latin descent. I'm not exactly sure. My Spanish isn't the best. Owner personality. The owner's personality mimics the stand's, but has more of a neutral, blank, serious personality that is used like a shield to protect his emotions. I like that. I like that since it's by itself, it makes it seem that the stand is a certain way that the stand user is able to get his inside feelings. Since like your stand is your spirit, and his spirit shows in his stand, the stand's personality is him. That shows right there. And since he himself isn't trying to show his emotions, you can see it throughout the stand, which is by itself, that's some nice depth to it. Stand ability, the ability to control sound and surrounding sounds at any level. Stand cry, sound gives a wubba wubba sound, similar to dubstep gun from Saints Row 4 each time it fires a round of shockwaves towards its target. If you guys know the dubstep gun from Saints Row 4, this is definitely a good reference from you guys. Personally, I can't exactly remember because like the last Saints Row I actually played was 3, I think. But going about it next, we have the stats. There's an A in power, A in speed, A in range, D in durability, B in precision, and A in potential. His description has able to evolve over time like echoes, but has 5 axe forms, each stronger than the last. It's a villain stand and has the power to make an A area around the stand user be completely void of sound itself, and can also make the stand swallow the target's head with a sound frequency over 600 sound waves that makes the target head implode and shoots sound waves from long range shockwave speeds, and sound is almost on par. No, speed and power is almost on par with Crazy Diamond and Star Platinum. So this is what I think. Well, off the bat, it makes me think of like both Echoes and Crazy Diamond together. But this is definitely its own thing, and I see somewhat of a this stand would definitely be a strong one, but I'm sure that if I scroll lower, then I'll see the weaknesses. But I'm going to be reading directly how it goes. Act 1 appearance: sound cloaked floating baby on the stand user. Since the user was younger, his final act is when he's an adult. Okay, so instead of going about it in a way where basically development doesn't happen throughout certain things that would make you develop as a person, it's more on going exactly a physical form of development and more on actually how you go about how you go about life developing. While how JoJo has done it, how Araki has done it, it's where you develop as a person, but you're the same. You can be in the same physical state as that. You develop as a person, and your stand develops too because you've grown. But this one's based more on actually physically growing, which is good, because I think of when it comes to things like this, it reminds me of Death 13 and how when Death 13 was younger, he moves on over and he gets like a possibility. I did a video on it. A possibility that once he gets stronger, or once he gets older, he gets stronger. His ability is more thought out and all of that. I've been babbling on, but yeah, usually I'm putting my thoughts into these. Second act, End of Silence, Not Alone. Appearance: hooded child made out of sound. The song is inspired from Link here. I'll check that out. But the second state of silence, it causes the sound of the user to become faded into symmetry to the point of where the user has no sound echo effect at all and is able to protect the user by projecting sound or a sound copy of the user to fool anyone that chases the stand user, and alters the appearance of a copy to hide the owner's identity. Okay, so I can see that's pretty good. I can read the rest, but everyone here can get the gist of it. So, or they can read it. Depends on if I'm putting this on the screen or not. I probably will. Third act, End of Silence, Run and Escape. A little demon tale, grown teenager version of the second one. I can get that since if you're gonna go from kid to adult, the teen phase kind of has like two stages technically, in a sense, where you're just not a kid anymore, but you're not fully a teen yet. So I can get that. Song is inspired from here. I'll be sure to tell you guys or show you guys where that would go to. Allows the user to alter the sound barrier to the point of where it gives a shockwave. Enough launch either its target or the caster from the area of sound waves to replace the oxygen that is lost from the caster. Okay. Yeah. I can get this. And Act 4, where actually no, there's 5 acts. Yeah, now that makes me confused on how exactly that would work when you're growing. But I guess like Act 1, if it starts from baby, then yeah, it can make sense. Name inspired from here. Stand evolves into a certain point that makes copies. It makes as many sound copies as it wants, spreading out to the caster's face anywhere it gives it a possible illusion hiding the shadows. Okay, but I think there's a certain line for all fan-made stands where there's a certain line where it gets to this can be a stand to ridiculously overpowered, in a sense, where I think if you're able to have as many stand copies as you want, it's kind of insane. But there's a certain limit to how much you can do when it comes to certain stands, and even the most ridiculous ones are not ridiculously overpowered. I guess because Gold Experience Requiem can just stop everything, which is well by itself it's just one direct ability, and it's strong. There's nothing else really to it. There's nothing like Gold Experience Requiem can be everywhere at once and is everything at once, and it's by itself it's just one ability and it's also strong. That's about it. But I can feel what you're going for, but I'd probably add a number to how many sound copies you would want, plus it's like how many sound copies would you really need to go about places. I'd probably say a good amount, probably be 20 if you're gonna be like, because a copy of a stand just sounds pretty strong in itself, but I'd probably have it around 20-25, but it's like that'd be pretty well. Ability, name inspired from Link here. Its final ability is its most dangerous. It can capture a person in a condensed level of sound and banish those casted into a dimension of no sound or no time. Okay, yeah. That is busted. That's the final act. That's a Requiem stand. Oh, not to be obviously Requiems are just, it's what you want. I can't just make it sound like all Requiems are just incredibly busted, but you know, it just sounds like if someone had like, they're like, oh okay, I want to be able to get rid of a person, because Requiem abilities can make it to a point where it's like you want to get rid of them, or just like they can be a stand ability where it's just like, hey, you just instantly die, and or something like that. That's something that goes on its own. But oh my goodness, I've been talking about one stand for 10 minutes long. You guys can see how exactly this series can get pretty large out there. I might limit it to 3 at this moment, but or I just, if you guys want to send in stands, possibly shorter, or I can't. Yeah, I don't know. Weakness: stand cannot handle full-on impacting damage from fighting type stands. It also cannot handle mirage like stands that can cast that affect the caster's mind. It can be beaten in a fight too long, where with fighters like Star Platinum, Gone can also be casted on one person only and cannot be used against okay, yeah, if that makes sense. And if the ability is like, okay, it can only be focused on one person, it's just like, okay, yeah, that it only works that way. You can't just move on to the next one like that. That's something. Okay, I get that. That's sick. But yeah, I like this stand. I really like the design of how you made this. It's kind of, it's eerie and creepy, and I like that a lot. That's a good way how you guys do that. The next one, I'm going to be moving on to the next one. So the next one's going to be Good Apollo by Solar Nova Dawn. Yeah, so the stand, yeah, it's Good Apollo by Solar Nova Dawn. First off, I would like to give you some backstory. How the stand came to be. I'm going to be putting the backstory right here, but for the sake of time, I'm going to be moving on. So you guys can full on read this. It's just easier for you guys to. I'm gonna be reading it myself because I'm a pretty fast reader by itself. I'm just reading it out loud for you guys, but yeah, okay. Namesake, Coheed and Cambria album, Good Apollo on Burning Star 4. Good Apollo is a humanoid stand that resembles the husk of an ornate armor. He has a red robe draped over his chest plate and brass wings adorned on the sides of his helmet. Good Apollo also carries oh yeah, that also makes me think about Apollo. Before I get off topic, Apollo the god, but yeah. Good Apollo also carries a large claymore sword in his hand. Good Apollo's body underneath the armor is not visible, assuming that it exists in the first place. Abilities: Time Consumer, or Clairvoyance, in parentheses. Good Apollo and his user can see a maximum of 5 seconds into the future, 5 hours into the past. These visions can appear as translucent projections of objects and people into position. They/will be. His lack of speed is made up for this. The suffering, using his clairvoyance, Good Apollo is able to use the blade of his claymore to block the enemy attacks. Oh, so you're reading him. Okay, that's good. I feel that. Weaknesses. Good Apollo's clairvoyance is rendered almost useless if its enemy knows about its ability, which limits him to just make accurate predictions of what someone could do instead of a definite vision. Good Apollo is also slow, but his time consumer makes up for it. Yeah, I can... when it comes to clairvoyance being used as an ability, I really like that. Due to there's certain comics that I've read. I can't bring a name right now, but there are certain times where people have had this Kira bites the dust archetype deal going on with them, where they're thinking that, oh, this man, he's just been reading me back to back, there's nothing I can do to it. But then you realize in your head, oh, I can change the fate, I can do something that wouldn't be done normally, and they can go past the clairvoyance by doing something that is just completely out of pocket and no one would really expect it. So that really does well. But when it comes to like certain things, where I also read in comics where the clairvoyance just is like, yeah, no, I also know you would do that too, because there's only a select amount of, because like, there's a certain ability, there's a certain superpower called like probability vision, some type of deal, where they're able to see every possible outcome anytime, and they're able to read it. It's like it's nothing. So that's something right there. Stats. A in power, the sword hits damn hard. D in speed, C in range, long reach with a sword, B range if thrown. B in durability, E in precision, C in potential. I'm guessing what you mean by B range if it's thrown. Like it has a certain fall off after B range. Like it probably the sword would just like fall on the ground or anything like that, or just wouldn't work. There's certain stands where it's just like, oh, like my shot actually just disappears after a certain amount of range. So it's like, yeah. About the picture, sorry for the low quality. I'm working on a different picture right now. I didn't want to spend any time on that, but as long as the general idea is made across, yeah, no, I feel you. I can see you definitely worked on the stand user, which is great. You made what is it called? You made an outline for the stand, so I can understand where you're just coming from. You don't want to just put in too much work if I wasn't to mention this or something like that. That makes sense. So I feel you. I feel you on that. I like the stand. I like the probability. Yeah, that's something I really do like. I feel like there's something. Well, there was some like Dragon's Dream or Dragon's Death. I forgot what it was called, but yeah, this can probably be a better take on it. So thank you for the submission, and we're going to be going on to the next one. All right, so now we have Twin Torture by Kono Dioda. That's okay, man. Appearance: Twin Torture resembles a demon with two. I mean, well, you can just see the appearance right there, so I can just show you that. Ability: Time Erasure. Okay, so King Crimson, or possibly. Affects everything within 5 kilometers within the stand's range, but doesn't affect the user. When the stand uses this ability, everything inside the stand's ability erase time will be erased from time, including the user and the stand. Everyone will be blind. It's King Crimson. Yeah, okay, that's what I'm getting. Okay. Verse split, or splitting the universe. Whoa! Can only be used when time is erased. This ability will split the universe in half. When the user says split, it will only affect everyone inside of 5. Hold the hell up. Everyone inside a big punch universe items, what everyone will experience or feel what they're feeling in other universes. Oh, shit. So connecting over into other universes too? Jeez, man, this is kind of busted. I'm reading it over. In Universe 2, Twin Torture will punch him into the chest, 3 into the head, 4 into the legs, etc. And oh, okay. Well, how you're saying it, okay. I can feel that, but what you're doing at the same time is like an easier way to explain that'd be like time stop and time erase at the same time, basically. Since being able to feel all of these things once it happens at the exact same time, basically, like if you transfer it over enough that you just I guess if I was to dumb it down or something like that, instead of making it as elaborate as you did, it transfers over into being basically time stop, or well, time stop would be as effective, making this like an easier term. So yeah. Time recover in universe. These two will only remove the first 2 abilities. When time recover is used, everything will go back to when time erase had started out, but the damage caused will not be restored. When a whole town is destroyed by the effects of verse split while time is erased, everyone will see the town destroyed in less than a nanosecond. Okay. I wouldn't think that less than a nanosecond. There's way more faster than that. I'm pretty sure if something was like time was supposed to be erased, it would be instant. It would be instantaneous. There'd be no way for no one to notice it because they're people, and if time is erased, it just wouldn't apply to them. Namesake, its name came from its ability to control different twin tortures in different universes, but it's not literally a twin, since there isn't a second stand to do so. Stats: destructive power A, speed E, range A, durability A, precision C, developmental potential B. Weaknesses: if the user is pushed away from the universe bubble is a bubble that protects the user from having copy in different universe. It's D4C too, I just noticed that. Anyone outside the bubble in the bubble will be able to see them. Okay. So if they're able to get him out of his area, it can affect him too. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, cool. So I don't know why this stand. Just looking at the stand alone, it reminds me a lot about Atrocitus. If you guys know Atrocitus. Well, no, yeah, the stand is twin. Technically, there's 2 on on the front and back. So I don't know why the heck I said that. Yeah, I like the stand, but some of these abilities, that's a little too strong. But I'm guessing, yeah, if you have the ability to do so, I mean, like, why the heck not? It's free form jazz. I mean, well, it's free form. You're able to do what you want. So yeah, I can feel that. Thank you for the submission, Kono Dioda. Let me see. So, oh my goodness, that is a lot of text. This person, like, well, yeah, he says, your video inspired me to make this stand. There's a lot of text, so I hope you have the patience to read it all. Debatable, because I'm not really the person for patience. No, I'm kidding. But so here's the stand design, and the text is here. Pumpkin Blood by Marb. I'm just gonna say Marb. I don't know how to say your last name. Namesake Pumpkin Blood. I don't know. I said pumpkin. What the heck? Pumpkin Blood by the No 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 album. We Are Only What We Feel. Appearance. You have the appearance there. Abilities: blood transfusion, blood manipulation, and blood transformation. Oh, okay, but by itself, it's it explains for itself. Like usually the abilities. I mean, if people can understand that. But Pumpin' Blood is a keychain carried around by its user. The only thing the Act 1 can do is attract and absorb blood when the enemy is wounded, and even a wound caused by a needle is enough and starts taking the blood from them. The bigger the wound, the faster Pumpin' Blood absorbs the enemy's blood. Done in range. Okay. To first Act 1, able to explain this in a way that people can see this. If you guys know of Hunter x Hunter, and you know about the Phantom Troop, there is this one Nen user. I think her name is Shizuka, just like the Joestar, or Shizuku, one of the two. But she's able to, her vacuum is able to suck blood. Like she can selectively, like say that she wanted to suck blood from the enemy. If the enemy has wounds all over, it will start sucking blood right out of the enemy, and they can do nothing about it. So that's something towards that. I can see that. But only blood of the living is accepted, so I can feel that. In Hunter x Hunter, she can do whatever she wants, really. No disease or different blood types are given to the user, since Pumpin' Blood cleanses the blood of the enemy. The bigger the wound, the faster Pumpin' Blood absorbs the enemy's blood. So the blood is accepted after the enemy dies after. Okay. So after absorbing enough blood, about 1 or 2 men, like 1 or 2 whole men, Act 1 becomes Act 2. Okay, so now it's like, it's not a development thing where it's like develops through your form. It develops on what the stand is capable of. It's like a battery. If it's charged enough, it can do insert thing here. So I can feel that. Let me see. Act 2. Gains new abilities while stuffing Act 1. Act 1 can transform all liquids into blood. Okay. But 1 liter at a time. Okay, so you can't just transform the whole thing into it. Transformed blood is not using... transformed blood is not living, so it cannot be absorbed by pumping blood. The range of the absorbing blood is decreased to 20 meters, but it's much faster. You can also use collecting blood into something else. The rings around it are protecting it. What exactly does it do with the blood then? If it doesn't absorb it, does it use it as a weapon? I mean, the third one, I saw Act 3. Act 3 can turn it into a weapon. Or no, yeah, it can turn it into a weapon, since it can change the form of the blood into... so going on into Act 3, all the ranges of the abilities drop 10 meters. Act 3 still does it. Able to turn blood into any shape, state, yada yada, temperature. So that means gas, solid, liquid, ranging -30 to 100 degrees Celsius. And it gains a lot of speed. So you're able to turn, at that point it is, Act 3, while it says blood transformation, and it is that too, technically, but you also have, it's blood manipulation right there. I'm not, actually, your abilities didn't say whether or not it was in order of it, so yeah, no, that can make sense on why. But first one is like blood transfusion, second one, blood transformation, and Act 3 is blood manipulation, but also blood transformation is in Act 3 too. So there's that. Weaknesses: Act 1 has no defensive or fast offensive abilities. User needs to be stealthy or else he'll be destroyed by other stand users, I'm guessing immediately. Act 2 is bad in close combat and needs to stay far away. I can feel that. Needs to rely on other on surviving so he can absorb the enemy's blood. And Act 3, once Act 3 has used all the soul and blood for offense and defense, cannot absorb blood from anyone close, and he'll transform back into Act 1, exactly like a battery. Well, batteries don't do that, but you get what I mean. Stats. You can see the stats right there, but I'm just gonna read it off for Act 3. You have A in power, B in speed, C in range, B in durability, A in precision, and E in potential. All right, so I can feel that. I'd have, what is there anything that I'd like to put input on this? I don't see anything. I don't see anything up with it that I'm totally fine with everything on it. And how can, well, certain things like transforming anything into blood, that's kind of crazy. But I don't know. It's possible that instead of transforming things into blood, I would go for possibly fluids in general. Not like fluids in general, but I'd probably say like start taking elements out of the body in a sense. Instead of just blood, you can also take out, like, say that you want to take out all the potassium out of their body or something like that. That's something odd. That's me though. You don't have to go about what I say. Don't worry about me. But for the most part, yeah, this all was pretty great. All stands I've seen, pretty nice. I have anything else to say on it. I enjoyed it, and I like the design too. So, how long is this? Oh my goodness, that's a long. Okay, but basically, you guys can see exactly how long these things can get. I think I spent about 10 minutes just talking about the first stand alone, or at least no. About probably 8 minutes. But thank you guys for watching. This is about 5 stands in total, 25 minutes. So that's like, it sounds like it's about 5 minutes on each stand, but kind of, I should fix the timing on that. Thank you guys for watching. All the stands mentioned here are great. I'd like to see if the people here would be able to comment if they're still around. Possibly not, I'm not sure. I'm probably going to do a fresh old rerun. So anybody who sends me stands now, if you guys send me stands before, you guys can resubmit them again. And if you follow the format already, but it'd be great. So I'll hopefully you guys send them in. If not, I can just go about going everything else, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people will send me this stuff anyways. So I'll see you guys in the next one though. So until then, peace out. Thank you guys for sending it all. They were cool, and Godspeed.